Okay, welcome to the Muay Thai Sparring DVD. You know, Muay Thai Sparring breaks down into about basically three categories. First, you have your clinch sparring, then you've got your specialty sparring drills, and then you got more of the all-out freestyle type kickboxing training. The clinch sparring itself, we're not going to cover too much here in this DVD. I covered that quite a bit in the first Muay Thai home study course, so we're not going to talk about that here in the advanced series. We're going to focus on those other two. First, take the specialty drills. The specialty drills sparring is very important. These are the sparring drills that you use and you really isolate and focus and sort of narrow the context down into something particular so you get good at it. So for example, it could be sparring with just say left jabs only, or it could be sparring with, you know, a boxer versus a kicker, or you know, just only sparring with only kicks. So they're sort of honing in and picking some particular aspect of your game, of your fighting ability that you want to get better. So if, say your kicks are horrible, this would be a good thing for you, is to do the specialty training where you can actually just spar using only kicks. So when you focus in on it like that, it really does improve it quite a bit. Now I'm going to show you some sparring drills here. I'm going to show you quite a few sparring drills here. Obviously this is not going to be exhaustive. There's going to be a lot more that you can come up with later, and your imagination is the only limit. So the drills I show you here are sort of get you going and give you some ideas, but feel free to go ahead and start coming up with your own sort of drills. So there are so many variables that you can do with specialty sparring drills. You know, the sky's the limit. So definitely watch these tapes here and get an idea of what to do. Practice those, and if you feel like you need to go on and make up your own and focus on other contexts, hey, that's great. The third area of Muay Thai sparring is the kickboxing area. That's where we kind of break it up into maybe we just go boxing if we're going to go harder. We also do, under that category, we also do Thai sparring, which is like a light kickboxing. It's the sparring we do most frequently, what we call Thai sparring, because it's the one where you can get a lot of timing, get a lot of, you know, distancing and so on, and learn it that way, but you don't get hurt too much, you don't get yourself banged up. So it's the one we do most frequently. Sometimes we do more of a harder kickboxing type training where we train, you know, maybe 50% or more in our power. In all Muay Thai sparring, this is where you learn how to put it all into play. Like you've trained your techniques on the pads and on the mitts and so on, and with one another, your combinations. This is how you make it live. This is how you make it real. You got to take what you learned and be able to apply it in a dynamic context. And that's what all the sparring drills are for, whether we're talking about clinch, whether we're talking about specialty drills, or we're talking about more of the open kickboxing type training. You have to be able to apply what you learn, and you only get that through practice. All right, guys, so I want to work on this specialization drills. Actually, we were talking about this the other day, and but these are very good. You isolate certain aspects of your kickboxing so that you get really good at it. You know, obviously, you know, you want to narrow the subject down and get really good at something. So that's what we're going to do. We're kind of break things up. What we're going to do right now is work on our ability to both attack and defend against a quick, what I call a high line attack, one that comes straight into your face really fast. And the best way to do that is train with the jab, because the jab is usually the quickest punch you can throw. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to shoot a jab at Dean's face. I'm just going to aim it at his forehead. And if you don't want to hurt your partner, you can just keep your hand kind of loose. You know, the harder you tighten your fist, the more it's going to hurt. So I'm just going to aim for his forehead where it doesn't hurt too bad. What I want Dean to do is, what I want Dean to do is just slap it away with his rear hand. So I go here, just shoot a flyaway, just like that. Just like that. He can also catch it, where you just take his hand and put it right in front of his face, and there's the catch. Okay. If I jab his body, he's going to just bring his elbow in and smack it across, either that one or the other one. Doesn't matter as long as he puts something there. Okay. And he's going to be doing the same thing to me. So this is again what we call jab tag, and the idea here is to sort of, you know, get used to high things, fast things flying at your face, and getting good at blocking them. He can jab me back. Go jabbing back. Yeah, now we're going back and forth, just aiming for the forehead, and that's all we're doing. We're isolating just the left jab to get good at this one particular area. So all we're going to do is just move around, fake the body. We're jabbing back up. There you go. There we go. Okay. There we go. You can double up, triple up, but we're just doing light sparring with the jab only. Okay, to get used to this sort of this aspect of kickboxing. Okay, so let's go 2 rounds. Let's split it up. Okay, our partner. Okay, this next drill is absolutely, in my opinion, the absolute best way to develop the leg kicking skills is with this drill. So we're going to isolate it, focus on that, focus like a laser beam on just developing good leg kicking skills. You guys know I can kick to the outside, I can kick to the inside, all right, with my shin. Okay, that's basic Muay Thai. You guys should know that already. He can block by turning his knee out, or he can block by turning his knee in. Okay, you can also do some fakes, and you're going to kind of come up with this stuff just kind of on your own when you want to try to get good at this drill. So it's one of the good benefits about it. When you're sort of locked into this context, you'll start coming up with some of your own stuff. So, for example, I could draw his block here and fake him and kick that back leg over there. So you watch this one. This is one I like to use. Get the block and bang. So when he's got this leg up, this leg's on the floor, he can't take both of them. So I like to draw that block, bang. Another thing I like to do if he tries to kick me with, say, his left leg here, move out of the way and smack it. Anytime he tries to kick you, just take that leg out of the way and punish the leg that tried to punish you. Same thing over here. If he tries to right kick my leg, look at the quick switch. See? Boom. One more time. So here, quick switch. Boom. Okay. So we're just playing this game. We're just playing. You don't have to kick hard, but you're gonna get good at this. So basically, we're just low kick sparring. So go ahead, go. Stop. He's trying to kick me, and I'm trying to kick him. So now you might want to suck her or draw him in, like woo. Get my legs out. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Another good one. Another good one. I draw his block. Yeah, bring your block up. If you let kind of flinches on the block, like that, just draw it, fake it, and come low. Try to catch the leg underneath. There you go. Very simple. Okay? 3 rounds. All right. Okay, look. The first drill is great for exactly for what we're using it for, is developing a quick reflexes on the high line, getting used to something coming at the front of your face really fast. Okay, it's great for that, and you want to do it. The problem with it is it does tend to leave out the lower half. So if you do it too much or with neglecting the other side of things, then he's going to be forgetting about the low line stuff. Okay, you don't need to keep blocking. Okay, so if he blocks here, he doesn't need to worry about this low line. He may forget about it. And the other drill, it's the opposite problem. So if we do a lot of this, and this is one of my favorite drills, by the way, is just low kick sparring, because I like to kick the legs, and this is the best way. This is the best way to develop that. If we do that too much, though, you do kind of get sloppy in your low kicking skills, so that you forget about the high line when you throw the jab out here. You see, so we want sort of something to fill in those gaps. We want the pros of those drills. We want to just focus on this and get good at this. And we want to focus on this and get good at this. But then we want to take care of the cons. So what we're going to do now is put the 2 drills together. So we're going to start here. And now all we're doing is left jab and low kick now. So he can low kick me at any time. I can low kick him at any time. And left jab. So those are our weapons, the low kicks and the left jab. The good thing about this is what I just said, it just takes away some of those deficiencies that are left over from the other 2 drills. So we start here, we're practicing the jab and low kick. That's it. Move around a little bit. Like that. Left jab, low kick. Good drill. Okay, let's do 2 rounds. 2 rounds. All right, next drill. This is a fantastic drill for fighting a guy who's very skilled with his hands, a good boxer. So we're going to call this kick the boxer. This is low kicks. Okay. Look, when he comes to hit me, it doesn't matter how skilled he is with his hands. To hit me hard with any kind of power at all, he has to put weight on that front leg. If he takes the weight off, that's fine, but he's not going to hit very hard. Okay, because to hit hard, you got to transfer weight. You got to transfer weight into your opponent. You know, by doing something hard like your fist. And if that means you got to put the weight forward. If my weight's back, I can't hit hard. Okay, so we're going to take advantage of that as a Thai fighter, as a Muay Thai fighter, as a low kicker, like I like to do. So whenever he puts his weight forward to hit me, look, his weight's on that leg, yes, and that's a prime opportunity to kick it, because when the weight's on the leg, it's very difficult to pick up. And you got to take the weight off to pick it up. That's what picking up the leg is. So if I can just simply, and I like to do it this way, you can just simply do your normal blocks. So he throws a jab at me, I can slap and low kick. I can kick him in the leg as soon as he comes in range. Almost before he even gets the punch off. So before he even gets the punch off, I can tag him. See, your low kick's going to be longer than almost everybody's punch. Almost always. Okay? So I can just simply take an individual block, then kick his leg. I can just kick his leg as soon as he steps into kicking range without him even punching. Or I can do this. I can just simply shield up like this. So he's punching my head, maybe with, more than one. I'm just shielding up like this. Yeah, he's kicking here. See? Every time he comes in, he's getting punished. And I'm covering my face, which is going to be his primary target. Now, he could hit my body too, but I can shield against that too. I've covered my face so that I nullify his advantage. And we're considering him to be the boxer now. So I'm nullifying this. And then every time I get a chance, even if I'm this close, he's throwing uppercuts or whatever. Over here, Scott. Mm-hmm. So even if he's uppercuts or whatever, I'm just right here. Bang. See? Bang. See, I'm kind of trying to shield my whole body so that I can nullify his punching while at the same time punishing him over and over with this. It doesn't matter if it's on the outside or the inside, by the way. Okay? So what we're going to do is kick the boxer. We're going to start here. I'm not allowed to punch. He's the boxer. He's not allowed to kick. Okay? I'm the kicker. He's the boxer. He's just going to come in and throw punches at my head. I'm just tapping his leg. And move around. See, if I have to, if he gets real close inside my kicking range, I'm just going to clinch up. And we're going to break. And that's the strategy you want to use if this is the scenario. If you're not as good of a boxer with this guy, you want to be in here banging. If you get close, nullify his boxing again. Yeah, I can't kick here, sure. But when I've got him clinched, he can't box either. So I go out. We're long range again here. Ish. 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 He gets close. Whoa. Got your breath. So it's kick. It's the philosophy here is, kick, clinch, run away. Those will fight another day. But I mean, you're going to wear him down though. You break a guy down with that move. Okay. So it's a fantastic strategy not only for developing your low kick skills, of course, but especially a guy who's intent on hitting you. Okay. Last one. All right. Let's go. Look, if you want to get good at boxing, you're gonna have this is the same thing we did actually on Friday, guys. So I'm just gonna explain it again. If you want to get good at boxing, you would actually put the gloves on and just concentrate on that. People do that all the time. But what we also want to do is getting good at the kicking. So we also, just like we would hone in our boxing and do boxing only, we want to do that with our kicks. So we're going to just basically do kick boxing, or maybe it's better called kick sparring. So we're just going to start here, and we're going to kick each other. That's all you can use. So if you get close, don't worry about any clinch fighting or anything like that. Just back up. This is legs only, and that's the purpose of the drill. Don't do anything else. And so you want to make use of whatever range best facilitates that. So obviously, being in close or trying to, right here is not so good. You want to get close. And we're just going to basically spar. You guys all should know all your blocks. If you're new, I'll show you some here in just a minute. But we're basically just using our feet only. Okay? That's going to be kind of weird because a lot of times you're used to, throwing your punch. But that's the purpose of the drill. Get good at kicking. Shh. Legs only. Shh. Just like that for a second. Okay? About 25% of the power and speed. We don't want to kick too hard because you can break bones. All right, just working timing and distance, all that good stuff. All right, we're going to do a few rounds of that. All right, watch this, guys. This is how you can develop the lost art of body shots. There's guy. Lost art of body shots. What you want to do is just simply, again, focus. If you ever want to get good at anything in your sparring, you focus on that and make it a drill. Let's say my jab sucked, and I want a better jab. What's the best way to get it? Spar with just jab. If you spar with just jab for 2 weeks or a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, you're going to have a killer jab. Okay? Same thing with the kicking. That's why we break it up. So we do just that kick sparring like we just did. Okay? And then now we're going to do it with the body shots. I want to get better body shots. Fine. We're going to box, but we're only going to use body shots. So we're not going to worry about it here. What I want you to do is to be in close, chest to chest, head to head, and you're going to be banging away. For the body shots, one thing you don't want to do too much is wind up. Okay? It's better to have your gloves, if you can get them, in the inside. The guy on the inside here is better off. I got my glove inside his. I do this one for a second. I'm on the inside. All I got to do is just turn. Boom! And you can deliver a pretty hard shot with just your body. That's how you want to do it. Glue it right here and just drive with your body. Like you're sticking a sword in there. Okay? That's what the uppercut, which is your primary body shot. So sometimes when you get close, you want to weasel. If you're on the outside, you want to put your hands up here. You want to weasel to the inside. And if you can make a little opening there, look, that's all I need. Just a few inches right there, and I'm going to use my body weight and drive with it. Drive with your legs, twist your hips. Keep your arms stiff and just stick it in there like that. Okay? With the hook on around the side, you know, if you're going to catch the ribs and kidney over here, you do have to open up a little bit. So you're going to hear, if I see an opening over there, whang, right there. All right? So these are your primary shots. The uppercut straight in, and then the hook to the side or hook over here to the side. Okay? And you'll get really good at it by doing this drill. That's all we're going to do. It's just body shots. Okay? So don't wind up. Look, if I'm right here and I want to hit Scott and I wind up, look at that. He can hit me with a quick shot. Nail me in the stomach, or he can block it. He'll see this one coming. Just cover up. Like, you know, from a defensive point of view, if I wind up, he covers up. So take short, hard, heavy shots. That's the idea. Work my hands on the inside. And just when you see an opening, you go for it right there. Just twist into it. Okay, same thing over here. Don't wind up too much over here either, because if you wind up too much, again, you're exposed. Yeah, you'll get dropped. You know. It hurts like hell to get hit in the body. Sometimes I really get hit in the head, hit in the body. But you got to develop good body shots. I want you to stay in here close. The whole match is chest to chest. I don't want you to come back out here and do any kind of jabbing or anything. It's just, we're in here close to us like this. Scott's hitting me. You should wear a mouthpiece because it could slip up. Okay, so but we're just going to lie here right now. And you can open this up a little bit. You know, sometimes it's a little fun to go 50% to get a little grunt out of your guy when you hit him. You know, that makes it a little bit more fun. Chest to chest. Just like that. Okay? Body shot sparring. Let's do it. So a couple of things you want to remember as far as defense was kind of implied what I said a while ago. Is you want to keep your elbows in. So if he hits me in the body, he just hits my arms. Okay? Don't make it so realistic that it wouldn't work for real life. So don't go like this. You know. Try to make it realistic. So think about your head too, even though we're just working body shots. Another thing, an old boxer's trick. Your friends will hate you for this, but it works. I'm going to hit Scott over here on the ribs. He's going to bring his arm in, right, to block. This works great. Oh, about 3 or 4 of those, you're going to think, man, forget it, man. Go ahead and hit my rib. It hurts like hell to hit someone in the arms. I mean, I've had some sparring partners hit me so hard in the arm. First of all, I mean, it hurts, you know, and I really hit me in the ribs sometimes. Second of all, when we break, he's been beating on my arms for, 10, 15 seconds. My arms are just beat up, they don't work as well anymore. So when you're in close here, if you want to play this little game, just bash his arms. If he wants to block my hook to the body, fine. I'm going to beat the crap out of his arms. Okay? That's a nice little trick too. So just add it, think about the defense, putting a barrier up there, and you want to be a little mean to your friends, beating his arms a little bit. All right. This little sparring drill I like to use is, I call this elbow versus boxer. And the good thing about this is, guys, a lot of times guys neglect their elbows. Like maybe when they spar, they use punches and they use kicks and, will clinch and, might as well knee. But a lot of people forget about this. This is one way to get good at it and remind yourself about it, because your elbows are awesome weapons. In my opinion, especially for the street, this is much better than this. These bones are small, big, a lot of damage, So you want to get good at your elbows. This is how you can do it. Elbow versus boxer drill. What we're going to do is we're just going to go light. He can only box I can only elbow, so we're both very limited here. I'm using my elbows to counter the boxing guy, okay? So he comes in and boxes with me, and obviously I've got a little bit of a disadvantage when we're at long jabbing range, okay? But what I'm looking to do, Cody, what I'm looking to do is get close so I can tag you. Now I've got elbow pads on. Let's make this drill a little bit more safe, a little bit more fun. I can tap him a little bit. If you've got bare elbow, don't tap probably at all. You're just going to have to do that because the elbow cuts with just a slight elbow. So be careful. These are okay. There's all different kinds of these if you want to get some. Maybe have some here, but you don't need them. You can do without it. Just be careful. All right. So what we're going to do is move it around, and I'm working my blocks, and I'm looking to tap him right there, bonk him on his melon with my elbow. The good thing about this is elbows work great from a sort of a walled up sort of defense like this. You'll see Thai fighters doing this all the time against a guy coming in with the hands, wanting to slug with him, and you'll see these guys, bang, so they cover up. It's right there. See, the elbow's right here. From this kind of position, you can launch right there. So when the boxer's coming in, any second, bang, watch this right here, like this. We're just moving around. And we got agreement here, he's not going to punch me hard because I can't elbow him hard. All right? So just a little kind of a coordination, timing drill. Look at this. Just think about this for a second, guys. Boxer likes to come in, especially a shorter guy, wants to come in right here and slug with you. And think about me covering up. Look at this. And it's just going to be right there. So that's what I want you to start thinking about. It doesn't take much, guys. It doesn't take much at all. Okay? So move around. You want to clinch a little bit, elbow from there, that's cool. Move around and just tap with the elbows, okay? All right. Okay, guys. Similar sort of drill. What I want to do now is the kneer versus the boxer. So I'm going to be here. Whenever you get the opportunity, he's boxing your head. So whenever you get the opportunity, you're going to be blocking, clinch up, knee a few times. Don't stay here too long because you want to get a lot of practice of, a lot of times, you want to practice closing the distance between out here where he can hit me and in close where I can knee him. This would be a good strategy against a guy who's a better boxer than you. You don't want to stand out here and try to box a guy if he's a lot better than you. You're going to be like this. Obviously for kicking, I'm going to be doing this, but just sticking with the knees, and we're trying to get better at those, so we're doing this specialized drill. I'm here looking for the opportunity to clinch and get back. I want to get as many clinches, as many getting past the sponge and locking up and around as I can. So the point is, once you get one, don't just stay here for 50 seconds, Get back and start going again. Looking for that opportunity to clinch and then get out. You can throw, if you want to, some long range knees from long range. But it's knee guy versus boxer guy, okay? Light boxing, mouthpiece, okay? Okay, we're talking about Muay Thai sparring. Look, it's not a good idea for day-to-day training. I mentioned this last Friday. It's not a good idea for your most frequent day-to-day type training to kick hard in your sparring. It's just not a good idea. So if we're out here, and Scott and I every day, we're throwing hard kicks, and he's blocking my kicks, and I don't care how hard or how good a shin guard you got on or whatever, this will take a toll on your body, man. You're going to be busting up his arms, he's going to be busting up mine. Kicks cause a lot of damage. It's not something you want to do every day. It's not something you want to do every day, okay? For the most part, for your day-to-day, most frequent type of sparring, you do what I call Thai sparring, which is relatively light, about 25%. So Scott and I start here, and everything goes. We can do punches, kicks, elbows, knees, whatever, but it's light. So we work on our timing and our coordination and all that distance, and all that good stuff. But we're not killing each other. Just go once. We're just working. This is why they spar a lot of times. This is why they spar a lot of times in Thailand. You don't go hard all the time. Okay, so if you want to kick hard, kick the pads. This is a good pace, just right here. Nobody's going to get hurt. You still want a mouthpiece and stuff. You still shouldn't talk and do it. But okay, that's the idea for Thai sparring. That's what you should be doing most of the time. If you want to train for a fight, it's not enough. You're going to have to get used to a little harder, blows on the noggin. So If Scott and I were training for a fight, what we do is we do a lot of that, a lot of Thai sparring. We kick pads to kick hard, but our primary sparring for the hard stuff is boxing. Okay, it's boxing. We put on some headgear, mouthpiece, we glove up, we bang a little bit, bang about 75%. You don't want to go 100% really with your sparring partner, in my opinion. Okay, but we don't go, especially don't go 100% of the kicks. Okay, so even for a fight, I don't recommend you going hard on the kicks. So for most of us, if you're not fighting, Thai sparring is great. If you want to pick it up a notch, I don't recommend taking the kicks above 50% power. Keep below 50%, and if you want to go harder, rough up a little bit, box. But the kicks will cause damage if you kick hard. So basically we've got some different sparring drills, like just kicking or just knees, or some of the different types of drills we do. We've got the Thai sparring, which is just everything goes, but it's relatively light. And then you got some heavy boxing for the guys who want to fight or just want to, take it up a notch or two. Okay, all right. If you're going to do a match, MMA match or a kickboxing match, then you would crank up with the 75% boxing and then some, 75% kickboxing towards the end. But you don't do very much of it. You save your hard kicks for the ring and for the pads. So primarily you're going to be doing the Thai sparring and, like I said, if you're training for a fight, some harder boxing with maybe a little bit of hard kicks thrown in. But for the most part, we take out the hard kicks because you get hurt. Okay, so for right now, let's do just Thai sparring. That's at 25%. That's fine. 3 rounds, guys. Yeah, this is a good pace. Just keep your timing alive a little bit. Okay, we got Blue here is training for a match. He's a professional MMA fighter. He's training for a match. Black's putting the pressure on him, as you can see. This is important to spar with different styles, different sparring styles, because you never know who your opponent's going to be, sometimes in the ring or the street. So you want to make sure you get a lot of different style. Everybody's got a different style. Some people like their hands. You can see Black here. He's more of a puncher. He's not a fancy kicker or anything like that. He just kind of plods forward and just bangs with the hands. So this is good for Blue in preparation for his MMA fight to spar with a guy like that. Black here at this time when we filmed this, Black is relatively new. He's just one of those natural fighters, though. He does do a very good job of keeping his hands up, and he's just kind of one of those naturally tough and strong guys. He's as an instructor, he's one of those students that you love to have, because this is the kind of guy, when you show him something, even though he hasn't been here terribly long, you show him something, he can just pick it up and do it right away. So it's kind of an instructor's dream here with this guy. Also notice, this time when we're filming here, this guy Blue is getting ready for a fight, but they're going all right in terms of power, but they're not kicking super hard. And I stress that a lot, is you don't want to kick too hard. The kicking can really wear you down. It can break the bones on the recipient. If you with the hard kicks, it can break the bones of the guy, or you can hurt your own legs. So especially even when you're training for a fight, we don't throw the kick super hard. We'll throw them light power, sometimes medium.
Once you get past 75% though, then you're really getting into an area where you can get yourself or your partner injured. So we don't stress hard kicking during sparring. We save the hard kicking for the ring. Now, sparring with a guy like this that comes forward, big and strong, comes forward like that, Blue needs to stick and move a little bit, move around. He should do a little bit more. You don't want to try, if you're the smaller guy and you're facing a guy who's stronger than you, plowing forward, you don't want to try to match strengths with him and meet him head on. And here we're switching up on Blue. We've got White now. White obviously has a different style. He's a little bit lighter on his feet, moves around a little more, much more of a kicker here, not as much of a puncher. So it's important, as I'll say, time and time again, it's important to have different sparring opponents, different fighting styles, so you can be ready for everything. We're putting in, for this, this is a Muay Thai sparring course, but you see these guys here using the Muay Thai, they're using the clinch there, but they're also attempting takedowns, making Muay Thai a component in their MMA training. Good use of the teep there. Good scoop. White, we're working on White. White's going to have an issue. I'll show you here in a minute where he tends to drop his hands too much when he's punching. He sticks his chin. We call it the Frankenstein effect. You don't want to do the Frankenstein. The Frankenstein is, if you imagine sticking your arms out, like one or two arms like you're punching, and then bringing your chin up, kind of like Frankenstein reaching for your throat, if you can picture that. You want to avoid the Frankenstein effect when you're sparring. Beginners do it sometimes, but sometimes people just sort of naturally have a bad habit. And we want to try to avoid the Frankenstein. Keep your chin, always want to keep your chin down and keep your hands up. It's easier said than done, especially if you're relatively new, because you kind of get excited, when the leather starts flying. Sometimes there's that natural tendency to stick the chin up and reach the hands out. So please, no Frankenstein effects, and sometimes you maybe just want to videotape yourself sparring, like we've done here. Just videotape yourself, and you're going to see you do things that you had no idea that you were doing. So that's a good training tool, just to get that old camera out and start taping yourself spar. You might be surprised at what you see. Blue's doing a good job here of counterattacking. White's coming forward, and Blue's doing a good job of picking his shots as the guy comes in. So he's doing a good counterattacking job here. Okay, when you're sparring with a beginner, actually it's pretty good for a more beginner to spar with a more experienced guy. And that's given that the more experienced guy, of course, is understanding and is able to teach and coach. It's a great way for a beginner to learn some technique, because the guy can be right there coaching him. As you can see, this guy is here. Blue is coaching Black. Blue much more experienced than Black. Black's relatively new at sparring. And Blue's able to control the pace here and control the power for the most part. And that's really beneficial for the beginner. You can see they're going at a nice, slow, coaching pace here, and it's great. In fact, I almost recommend this over, say, putting two beginners together, because that can get kind of crazy. There's a good takedown there. It can get kind of crazy if you put two beginners together. But when one guy is more experienced, he's more cool, more level-headed, he's in a much better position to sort of control the pace. And this also, by the way, you also need to understand that the beginner needs to understand his place. It's not a good idea if you're a beginner to go out and try to prove to the more advanced guy how good you are, how tough you are. That's usually not a good idea. You don't want to tick off the more advanced guy. So a little humility is called for here when we're talking about sparring sparring between beginners and more advanced. And here's the Blue is still out there now. This is another beginner now with Black different black. But blue is still the same idea here. Blue is able to control the pace and coach him and teach him a few things. Coach him, of course, verbally, and then coaching him in terms of, you know, just through the hands and landing of techniques, which tells you a lot too there. This type of matchup, beginner, more advanced guy, is a great way to go. It's a great way to learn. Probably the best way to learn. Probably the best way for a beginner to get introduced to sparring. All right, what we're looking at now is some harder sparring. These guys are getting ready for an amateur MMA fight, so they're going to put the headgear on and bang a little bit harder. They're, you know, 50, 75% level they're going, which is a good idea if you have to compete in the ring or the cage or something like that. So these guys are going a little bit harder. They got the headgear on. Headgear, by the way, does not take away too much impact per se. It does reduce cuts, which is an important thing when you're getting ready for a fight. So don't think that you're going to put on headgear and punches and kicks aren't going to hurt anymore. That's not the case. It's just that it will reduce cutting, especially from headbutts, accidental elbows, and stuff like that. So the guys here are geared up. They are punching, kicking harder than normal than we would in typical Thai sparring. This is really good. We do this a lot with just the boxing. With the boxing, like I always say, you can box and you can hit pretty hard. And you still don't hurt your opponent too much, your partner that is. You don't hurt your partner too much, but you don't want to do that too much with the kicking. So these guys are kicking. You're going to see some kicks here that go pretty much towards the limit, like the limit that I like to recommend anyway, for safety and for, you know, partner preservation. So these guys are duking it out. They're going to hit harder with their hands than they will with their feet, although the feet you will see come up a little bit harder than they did in some of the Thai sparring. White here clearly has a big reach advantage over Green. Green's going to have a hard time. White's actually pretty good with some footwork and got a long, lanky arms and hits pretty hard and is pretty fast. So he's going to give Green a hard time here because Green needs to get inside those arms. If you're a shorter fighter, what you need to do is when you come in, set some stuff up. You need to come behind something. If you're going to come in on a taller guy, you got to throw something out there. And when you come in, you're going to have to move your head side to side, back up against the wall or the cage, and basically cut off the ring and pin him up against the wall. That's how you got to fight the taller guy. You got to get in close, and you got to get in close without getting hit. That's sometimes not so easy to do when you've got a tough, skilled tall guy, especially if the tall guy's really good at circling away. But that's the goal anyway. A short guy has to get in on the inside. White here has good footwork and good long-range punches, and he's doing a good job of keeping Green right at fist length, which is right where he wants Green. He wants Green in the area where he can hit Green and Green can't hit him. So right now White's pretty. You see several examples right there of what I was talking about. White's able to do that really well here. All right, Green's doing something a little bit different now. Looks like he's kicking a little bit more. There's a spin kick by White. Green is able to try and go with the kicks now. That can be a good strategy against a taller guy. You can, if he tends to be more of a hands kind of guy and he's taller, that long leg sticking out there can be a great target. It's not working too well in this situation because White happens to be a pretty good kicker himself. So, but normally that's not a bad strategy that I like to use against kind of a tall, lanky guy. Is that especially if he's a tall, lanky guy that likes to punch with his hands, I like to kick that big old long leg sticking out there, and those long legs, they just look more fragile. You could just, big old long femur bone breaks easy, but it's fun to kick taller guys in the leg. It seems to hurt them more. But as I said here, White here is a good kicker in his own right. So this is an exception to the normal strategy that might be employed against a taller guy. And these guys are training for MMA, so they are putting in the takedowns and stuff along with the Muay Thai stand-ups. That was a good low kick there. Alright, we got Black here. Black is also training for an amateur MMA fight against Gray. Gray is an intermediate level student. He's not ready for his first fight yet, but he's just trying to work out Black, trying to help him out. Another guy's going to step in now. We do this a lot with our fighting training. Like the fighter's like the monkey in the middle. He has to stay in, and you keep putting a fresh guy on him. You can rotate that out in cycles, like for 2 minutes. You bring a fresh guy in, and then when that 2 minutes is up, you bring another fresh guy in, and the guy that's going to go compete, he's got to stay in. So it makes it really hard on him after a few rounds because he gets fatigued, and he's always fighting a fresh guy. It's a good thing for his conditioning, and it's also good if you have a skilled guy who can beat sort of everybody else. When you're tired, you're not as tough as you would be when you're not. So it can really sort of even the score a little bit when you take your best fighter and wear him out, and then let him spar with the less skilled guys. That really makes it a much more interesting match. Normally, the guy would probably walk over some of the younger guys, but when you wear him out like this, you're working his conditioning, and you kind of make his opponents better in a sense by making the more skilled guy, more tired. Good right hand by Black. Gray here is looks like they're choosing to exchange a lot of hands here. Everybody's got their own preference and style. Nice boxing exchanges here. Boxing is really good. I've said it once and I'll say it 1,000 times until you get tired of hearing it, but boxing is good because you can really crank up on the power. You don't want to hurt your partner, but you can really crank up on the power and not suffer a lot of the damage you would from throwing the hard kick. So boxing really gets your head used to getting hit, and you have to do that. You see these new guys when they start sparring, one of the first things they have to work out is they're flinching. They're punch shy. A punch comes at their face and they kind of flinch back, and that's a natural reaction, but it's something you got to train. It's a natural reaction that you have to train out. You don't want to close your eyes and flinch and turn your head away when someone throws a punch at you. You need to get to the point where you really just get used to getting hit. When you get bopped upside the head with the glove, you just, it's like a mosquito hitting you. You just keep going. You don't even miss a beat. So the boxing really does help you do that, because with the boxing you take a lot of punches, and it's really good for bringing out that attribute, the attribute of being able to take a punch and to keep going. So you definitely want to put in a lot of good clinch work here in your sparring. You want to be able to make that transition, punching from kicking to punching to clinch. Definitely put in a lot of clinch.
One more to go.
The bell ring, I gotta fight it. You like him?
Watch a little more activity now with the legs. A little more kicking. These guys have done pretty good solid kicks. This is about I would say this is probably as hard as I'd like students to go as these guys right here with their kicks. These guys here have a pretty good pace for fighting. A nice fight preparation, 50 to 75% intensity. Those low kicks will really condition your thighs too. You take a few of those. It's not like you ever get used to it. It's just that, but you do get better taking it. You don't get so freaked out if you're taking so many low kicks. When I spar, I really believe in the effectiveness of the low kicks, so I like to train it a lot. And you're never going to get good at throwing them and defending them without putting them into your sparring. And put them in with a high frequency. When I spar, I like to throw a lot of low kicks. I like to keep my opponent out of his game and off his stance. So it's something you should incorporate into your sparring. Is a lot of it. Keep the frequency of low kicks relatively high. I think it'll really pay off for you in the long run.
Chest to chest, bang them. That's it. That's what I want you to be right there, clenching and banging. That's it. No one ever trains this, you know. Everybody's always training long range. I mean, you know, we do.
Get in there, come on.
That's it. That's it.
Come on, get in there. Come on, get in.
It's different rhythm,
Get in there.
different pace.
Get some inside, get some inside.
There you go.
There you go. Come on, get inside, get inside. There you go. Good, good.
Okay, what we're doing here is we call this drill banging. What we're doing is we just get close, you get chest to chest, you get right in each other's face, and you got to stay there. That's the idea. This is strictly, right now we're just doing boxing. You know, you could use other weapons if you want. I like to focus on the boxing here. You just, with this kind of range, you get a lot of exchange going. It's constant engagement, you know. You don't get to dance around and take those little breaks. Low blow. Watch low blows. You probably should still wear a cup here. But this is great. This is a great way to sort of develop that fighter's mind, that just sort of fighting tenacity. Where you just gotta. Sometimes you just gotta bite down your mouthpiece and kaboom and kabang. You know. So that's what we're learning here is. In each other's face, in close, a lot of body shots and stuff, and you just start banging away. You can control the power depending on people who are going here. Black here has probably a 190-pound weight advantage over red. So this is a real challenge for red. Right now we're actually getting red ready for it this time. Red is getting ready for an amateur MMA fight. So we wanted to put a little pressure on him, you know, and get a bigger guy in there to bang with him. It's a great drill to develop these sort of in-close type fighting attributes, and good to develop your mental toughness as well.
There you go. Good cover, good cover.
Yes, good job, guys. Stay busy, stay busy. You're almost done.
All right.
He's all right. He's all right. He's a fighter. He's all right.